Psoriasis. For millions of people, it is a lifelong battle with skin that's painful and inflamed. And the conventional treatments? Well, they can be this frustrating cycle of a little bit of relief followed by a lot of side effects. So today, we're going to dive into something different, a powerful steroid-free alternative that's actually been used for centuries, and now, finally, it's being backed up by modern science. We're talking about a plant called Wrightia Tinctoria.
1 to 3%. Now, that might not sound like a huge number, but that's the estimated slice of the entire world's population that's affected by psoriasis. I mean, we are talking about over 60 million people, 60 million dealing with this chronic and, let's be honest, often really misunderstood condition.
And that really brings us to the core question for today's explainer. What if the key to managing this condition doesn't come from some high-tech lab, but from ancient wisdom? Something that's been right under our noses all along.
Okay, so to really get a handle on the solution, we first have to understand the problem, what we're calling the psoriasis predicament. Because this is so much more than just a skin condition. It's a really complex, systemic disease that can completely change a person's life.
So here's the absolute core of the problem. Your healthy skin, it has this nice, orderly renewal process, right? It takes about 28 days for a new cell to form and then flake off. But with psoriasis, that whole system gets slammed into hyperdrive. We're talking down to just 3 or 4 days. It's so frantic that the skin cells just pile up way before they're ready. And that's what creates those thick, scaly patches we call plaques.
So what's actually driving all this chaos? Well, it's not the skin's fault. The real culprit here is the immune system, getting its signals crossed and going into overdrive. There's this very specific inflammatory channel in the body. Scientists call it the IL-23/Th17 axis, and it basically gets stuck in the on position, just constantly screaming at the skin to overproduce and, in a way, attack itself.
And that leads patients right into what you could call the treatment trap. See, the standard options all come with some pretty serious baggage. Topical steroids, they can thin your skin and cause major rebound flares when you stop using them. Phototherapy, super time-consuming and comes with cancer risks. Then you've got systemic drugs, which can be toxic to your organs. And even the newest biologics, well, they are incredibly expensive and can put you at risk for serious infections. It's pretty clear we need something better, something effective, safe, and sustainable for the long haul. So, what is that alternative? Well, let's introduce the hero of our story, an ancient herbal solution, Wrightia Tinctoria. In traditional Siddha and Ayurvedic medicine, it's known as vitpalai, or sweet indrajau, and it has been the go-to remedy for skin problems for generations. So what exactly is this plant? Well, it's a small tree that's native to India and Southeast Asia. It's pretty easy to spot because of this milky white sap that oozes out when a branch is broken. For literally centuries, it's been a staple in traditional healing, and now, finally, modern science is putting it under the microscope to figure out exactly what makes it work so well.
And now for the really cool part, the science. Let's decode this plant's natural arsenal of chemicals. We're going to look at the specific bioactive compounds that make this plant such a powerful weapon against psoriasis.
You see, the plant's power doesn't come from just one single magic bullet compound. No, it's a team effort, a whole symphony of molecules working together. You've got compounds that slow down that crazy cell growth, others that are powerful anti-inflammatories, some that act as antioxidants to protect the skin, and even some that help rebalance the immune response. It's a full-on, multi-pronged attack.
Let's zoom in on one of the star players, a compound called indirubin. Think of this molecule as the cell cycle regulator. It steps right into that out-of-control 3-day cycle and just hits the brakes on that rapid cell division, helping to guide the skin back toward a normal, healthy rhythm.
And then you have its partner in crime, lupeol. We'll call this one the inflammation cooler. This compound goes right to the source of the fire, dialing down those key inflammatory signals that cause all the trouble. This is the molecule that's directly responsible for reducing the redness, the heat, and the swelling you see in psoriatic plaques.
Okay, so the chemistry makes perfect sense on paper, right? But does it actually work in real people? This is where we turn to the clinical evidence, where this ancient plant was put to the test in a modern, rigorous scientific setting.
And wow, the results are pretty stunning. In a 12-week head-to-head trial, an oil made from W. tinctoria went up against calcipotriol, which is a standard first-line pharmaceutical drug. The results? They were basically identical. Over 90% improvement in both groups. But, and this is a huge but,
Here's the kicker. After stopping the treatment, the group using the herbal oil had no rebound flare. That's a super common problem with conventional therapies, and it just didn't happen here.
So what does this healing journey actually look and feel like for someone using it? Well, it's a gradual but really steady process. In the first couple of weeks, you feel that first wave of relief as the itching goes down and the scales start to soften. Then, from about week 3 to 5, the plaques themselves actually start to get thinner. By the 2-month mark, you see significant clearing, which often starts from the inside of the plaque and moves out. And after that, it's all about maintenance, just keeping that healthy skin clear.
When you put all this research together, it really points to a whole new path forward for patients. It's a path where we can thoughtfully and intelligently integrate this ancient wisdom right into the framework of modern medicine.
You know, researchers have this phrase for it, a paradigm of translational ethnopharmacology. I know, it's a mouthful, but it's really just a fancy way of saying this is the perfect example of taking traditional, plant-based knowledge, testing it with modern science, and translating it into a valid, evidence-based medical treatment that we can use today.
So the big question is, where does this fit into a modern treatment plan? The answer is almost anywhere. It's incredibly versatile. For mild to moderate cases, it could be a first-line therapy. It can be a steroid-sparing agent, helping patients avoid all those nasty side effects. It's proven to be an effective long-term maintenance therapy. It can even be used to support other systemic treatments. It's like a Swiss Army knife for psoriasis care.
And all of this leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. As we face this growing wave of chronic inflammatory diseases in our modern world, could it be that the wisdom of the past, re-examined through the powerful lens of modern science, holds the real key to managing them more safely and more sustainably for our future?